Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin Mari here today with another video. For today's topic, I want to go ahead and address some things I've seen in forums and discussions, as well as some questions that have been asked to me personally. Just, asking how the basic game systems work, such as leveling your character, things like upgrading Magatamas, and things along the lines of whether you should use your character dupes or not, or wait. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to basics for today's video, and we're just going to look at, things like upgrading your resources in this game, your arsenal. So that way new players and players who may not have figured it out yet 100% have a reference to look at so that they know what to do as far as using their resources. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head to the character screen. We are going to look at Sakura because she has one of the examples I want to show off. So as you are leveling your character, you are going to eventually hit a cap. Like you see here, she is 60 out of 60. So in order to move forward with a character cap, you're going to see these stars here. There's going to be a circle here that is actually, you can click on it. It's a star with a plus symbol. So let's do that. And it's going to bring us to an upgrade screen. Here you will see the mats that she needs. Now these aren't going to start out being this many mats. When she's lower level, there obviously were less. But for now, she does need 100 of these certificates, 30 of these blue ores, and then 8 of these stellar ores. So once you have all those mats, and then you have the required gold, for this stage it would be 250,000. And again, this starts as a lower number and moves up as you level the character. And all you would have to do once having all of these resources in line is hit advancement, and as you can see, it will actually add another star to the character, and this would effectively raise her cap level. So in this case, it would push her to level 70. I'm not going to do it at this time because I don't want to spend 250k gold at the moment until I have a little more saved up. So we're going to leave her as is, but that would be how to push your star level forward on your character, raise your level cap. Next, we're going to come over to the weapons screen. Now, I'm sure everyone has the main weapon equipped. As you level your character, I believe the sub-weapon slot here unlocks at level 20. So the reason this slot is useful is because you can actually take another weapon and apply it to this slot, and it will give your character a percentage of the weapon's total stats. That percentage is determined by how far you've leveled the weapon, forged it, and the S level. So as you level up the S level, the percentage that you get added to your main attack damage will also go up. The other huge benefit to having a sub slot is the Magatama slots here. So if I had no sub weapon, she would only have these 4 crit Magatamas on. With the sub weapon included, you see here I have 3. And this weapon actually started at 2. I've upgraded it once, or forged it rather. So it unlocked a 3rd slot. And I am in a position here to unlock the 4th slot. So I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of how that's done. You would click Forge. As you can see here, it would cost 50,000 gold, and the materials you would need are in the same place as the character upgrade screen. I would need these alloy ingots, these blue ores, and these stellar ores. And then it would unlock the 4th slot, allowing me to equip another Magatama, as well as raise the potential weapon cap to 60 from 55. And to do this, it would cost 50k gold for this weapon. Again, I'm not going to do it in the video because I'm saving gold. It's very hard to get your gold up, so I just want to have a nice amount before I start throwing gold around again. But this is just, to give you guys an example of how to forge your weapon. The same process for your main weapon or your sub weapon. So keep this in mind when you are upgrading, when your weapon hits cap. If you aren't going to be doing like content, or if you're not going to be pushing like trying to clear normal or hard mode, and you have the resources, go ahead, upgrade the item. Just be aware that it will drop back to level 1. So you would have to work it back up again before you see the true increase in stats, because the stats will all reset. So when you upgrade or forge a weapon, especially your main weapon, be wary of what content you're playing, or have a backup weapon. Like for example, if I were still working on this phantom knife and were to forge it, I would simply make this the sub weapon and move the Yamada weapon here over to the main weapon. That way I would lose damage like because the Phantom Knife is a better weapon overall. But in the meantime, while the Phantom Knife is level 1 going up to whatever level threshold I got it to, the Yamato would cover me. So make sure you have like an off weapon, or if you are already leveling a sub weapon, feel free to upgrade your main weapon. Just be sure to switch the sub weapon to the main weapon so you don't lose damage. Next, we're going to look at the skill screen. This screen is self-explanatory. You pick whatever skills tickle your fancy here. The best thing to do is build around your supporters. So for this example, I'm running an all protection supporter build. You can tell their protection by this little symbol here. It's always going to be next to the heart. The other two are suppress and assist. Suppress would be red, assist would be green. So watch for these symbols. Since this is a pure protection build, that's going to synergize with the skills I have equipped. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. We have Shadow Cleave. So for each protection supporter equipped, you're actually going to unlock a new passive to the ability in question. So for Shadow Cleave, having one of these would reduce the damage taken during the attack by 50%. So while Sakura is spinning around during this ability, she's taking half damage from all sources. Another thing that it would add is at a 2 set, you would add 2 additional spins, so it would make the attack more potent, it would last a little longer. And then upon equipping 3 protection supporters, it would increase the damage of the skill by 165%. So, very important that you pay attention to your supporters because it will directly affect the passives that your skills can put out. Another good skill to look out for, each character has this sort of steroid skill. You see here it has a yellow circle that says all. So any sort of supporter, like you can mix protection, you can mix suppress, and you can mix assist, they would all 3 types would proc this skill. So as long as you have on 3 supporters, you're getting the full benefits from this skill, which would be a 10% damage increase to your basic attacks, then an additional 20%. And then for the third set, you would get particle charge amount increased by 50%. So while you're basing attack, you would generate 50% more ultimate to use with your character. And just to round out the build, the other skill I choose to use is Shadow Spin, because if you're running a protection Magatama, supporter as your main, then you see here, set main, I would restore HP by 5% of damage given. So it's just nice when pushing hard mode to have some sort of heal, and all I have to do is dodge and tap the attack button, and then she would get 5% of the damage dealt, which is nice. Sometimes she heals for upwards of 700, so it could be a real lifesaver if you're in content that can hurt you. The other thing I want to look at while we're here is the skill training tab. So as you're leveling your character or as you're using them in the facility, you're going to get these skill points. It looks like a little ninja star. Right now I have 6289. So as you see here, you can use these skill points. These are already purchased, but if we go to Asagi, just for an example, you could buy the skills of the characters using these points. So if I just click acquire skill on a random one, it's going to cost 30 and 2,000 gold. I believe it is that same price for every single skill for every single character. So 30 isn't really a huge amount. Where you're really going to be burning your skill points is in the skill training tree. So as you can see here, for the current level of my Sakura, she can't go any further. She does have her cooldown at level 20. She does have her crit rate at level 20. And I'm currently working up the skill damage. So for this example, the skill damage would cost 2,000 of this currency as well as 20,000 gold. Then if I were to hit confirm, I would go from doing 9.5% skill damage to 10% at level 20. And then I would be able to upgrade past level 20 for each skill thing in this tree after I get her to 70. So do keep this in mind. This is kind of a way to tailor build your character, have them specialize at something early on. Eventually you would have leveled them all because it is possible to farm skill points from the facility, even with your characters at the maximum level. But you know, you could tailor make your character. Like for example, I went cooldown and crit first because I do like the ability to use my skills a little more, and I like critical hits. I'm kind of conditioned from other games, even though basic attacks are proving to be more consistent in this game. I'm kind of conditioned to always build crit because of games like League of Legends and Diablo. So now that that has been covered, we're going to kind of exit these screens and we're going to head over to our inventory and we're going to look at the supporter screen. So we're just going to grab a supporter I haven't duped yet. So here we have Homura. So I have the option here I can upgrade her. It would just cost these materials. Like if I were to click a bunch, she would get a bunch of levels. Like that could cap her out for this example. Again, actually I may do this because it's cheap and I can show you guys what I mean. But before doing that, I want to show you the improved skill screen since she does have a dupe hanging around. So some people seem to think that you should not dupe your characters and wait until they're max awakened. Other people seem to think you have to dupe your character 5 times before awakening them once and then it will reset the special level. And then you have to dupe them 5 more times. It's like there are some crazy thoughts going around. That it doesn't work that way. Like, okay, I'm going to go ahead, dupe her. You see here her ability is going to jump from 15%, which is her base. And then if we improve her skill, it's going to go from 15 to 18.8%. Her damage, the damage taken that she adds doesn't go up as you level this ability, so keep that in mind. She is really good because of that. It's going to cost 6,000 gold and basically just one copy of the supporter. So we're going to go ahead and click improve skill. So now she is skill level 2. Now I'm going to do this as an example so people can see. We're going to upgrade her. Just going to go ahead and like maybe, yeah, that. Okay, so this is going to cost 1,000 gold to upgrade, 6 gold books, and then 4 of the second tier book. This is going to get her to 40. So I'm going to do this. Alrighty. So we see here she's now level 40, and then she has an awakening option. So we're going to click that. You see here, it's in the same case, it's the same case as other upgrades. All your materials needed are going to show up here. The amount you need to pay is going to show up here. So, for all those people who think that your special level will reset, I'm going to awaken her now to show an example in real time. Pretty animations, blah blah blah. Her active skill does level up because we awoke her. She herself did go back to level 1, but her special skill stayed the same. So as you get dupes for characters, feel free to dupe them. Don't feel like you need to level the character up first. Dupes are just a way to power up their special skill. That's all they're there for. And then the active skill or the main skill is going to be powered up as you upgrade and awaken the character, as seen as in this example. So I just wanted to definitely clear this up because I've seen a lot of questions about this lately. Dupes are free reign. Use them as you get them and get the character's special skill in order. And then you can just upgrade the character up as you come into the resources. So thank you to Homura for letting us use her for that example. And that pretty much does cover how to level supporters as a whole. Pretty simple overall. Now we're going to come back over to our facilities, which was also covered in an earlier video. I want to show you basically how this works. Now, currently I'm not using the most optimal supporters here. For the... which one are we in? For the skill training facility, it is going to be this brown-haired waifu here. She's going to make the facility 37.5% more efficient. So if I were just to equip her, well, first I'll show you. We would get 265 in our skill points. If I were to equip her to this facility, she would add that 37% boost, making it a 364 skill point payout. The reason I'm not using her right now is because it's really easy to level up the affection of rare supporters in here. So we have this chick here, we're leveling her affection as we use the facilities. So I'm kind of taking the hit to the payout to get the affection up to get more gems for pulls or whatever I want to use them for later. With that being said, we are going to select a Taimanin. Now, since we are purposely leaving Sakura at cap, that does not mean she does not get progression. We are going to put her in the facility, and now Sakura will be able to earn her skill points every couple hours, every 3 hours, 40 minutes in this example. So she'll get 265 added that we can use to work up her skill tree. Since we are holding her at cap, that leaves an opening for us to work on our side Taimanin, which would be Asagi. And again, in this example, this is not the optimal supporter to go here. I'm leveling her infection. That supporter would be this one right here. And it's really easy to spot them because you'll see that they have like a percentage on top of their level here. So it says 37.5. This one is a dupe that I haven't put into her yet, but it would say 25%. Now, looking at this, normally we would get 2240 if we select the optimal supporter here. She would bump that experience payout to 3080. So if you do come across those rare supporters, be sure to be using them in your facility as they do help. As I said, I'm kind of grinding affection, and it's really easy to do so here without using them in my main loadouts and gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to add Asagi to this. And there you go. So this is the border is going to get affection when the duration is done. Asagi is going to get her 2000 experience, and she will get a few more levels. Looking at the weapon facility, the gist is the same. This is actually the optimal supporter for this facility. She would increase the amount of weapon experience you get, as well as lower the duration for being in here. Currently, I'm working on Yuki's guns because I pulled them, and my Asagi sword is currently 50. I don't want to forge it yet as I'm not playing her, as much as I'm playing Sakura anyway. And in case I decide to get Yuki Kaze, her best in slot gun, which is that Greek Fire pictured here, would be leveled up and ready to use. So those are kind of just some things I wanted to cover as far as the basic systems of the game, how to level up characters, how to make use of your facilities. This may not be optimal, but this is what I do, so certainly, use it, like, feel free to use it, feel free to reference the video. Like I said, this is for those people who had these questions. If you do come across a more optimal method, be sure to leave it in the comments, because then I can correct it in the video and, relay that information to everyone. But for now, this is what I'm doing. I've played a ton of gacha games, so I usually have a pretty good know-how of what to do, how to use my resources, and how to go about things. So, I mean, I haven't felt like stunted at any point in my gameplay. If that, if it's any consolation, like, I'm having a pretty easy time with the game. So if you follow the methods I showed you, you should be able to do the same. And if you're new to the game, like I said, they should help you get your feet on the ground and get you running so that you can, level up your characters, level up your gear, and what have you. With that being said, I am going to end today's video. If it was helpful, please like and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. And as always, you guys have a great day, and may you have good luck in your gachas. Take care.